to know the wood as intimately as possible. And by the time I measure this instrument with calipers and things like that to measure how thick they are, I will know pretty much I measure about every 1/8 of an inch to know exactly the thickness of each individual piece. And this is exactly what I did to the back with the maple. The maple is a lot harder to carve than spruce, which has its good and bad points. With an easy to carve piece of wood, you can make mistakes quicker. And it really doesn't take too long to rough out the top, since I have pretty much in my mind exactly what I need to do to get a top of a violin ready for the final carving. Now, as you can see, going this way on this side, it's the chippier side over here. So you want to just stay with the grain. By concentrating on one instrument is also the reason today I can't show you small pieces of the instrument, like different stages of an instrument, because I don't do it that way. I like to stay with one instrument and get it done, and I think this is very important. I think that's why the more famous violin makers, such as Stradivarius or Guarnerius, I think that's why they made better instruments, because they stuck to making the individual piece. And this is really where the magic of the instrument comes, is being so intimate with the instrument and knowing exactly how it responds. Why it's definitely worth having a handmade instrument. And there we go. We have a nice roughed out top. Now I go to the most important part, which is going to my tap tone. And just by cutting out that top to the shape of a violin and getting rid of some more wood, I can hear the tap tone getting more vibrant. And the more, right now, you can hear how it taps in different places. It taps different tones. Well, when the violin is finished, and I have the thicknesses of the violin perfect, then that violin will tap everywhere. If I tap it around, it'll tap to the same tone, and you'll be able to hear the vibrancy of it. All right. Another aspect of the violin, besides the body, is the neck and the scroll, which is a traditional form, although I have carved different things at the top here, such as faces and things like that. Most people prefer the traditional scroll, and each maker has sort of his own way of making it, and sometimes because you're going back and forth, your right hand reacts differently on one side than the other, and some people are very good at looking at the scroll and telling who the maker was. As you can see, I cut this scroll out of a solid piece of wood, and this is also curly maple. And what you do is you scribe in the scroll here and cut off little pieces of pie going right around to start the scroll. And as you carve it, I'll be showing you a finished scroll. So as you carve it, it brings it out, and you use your center line and flares. And then here's the peg box where the pegs will go. We have to dig that out. Now, seeing a lot of repair work, the peg tends to crack a lot. So when I make a scroll,